Okay, good morning, class. So today I want to review a little bit about what we did in Desmos. So I did ask you to construct um, set a angle bisector, which was supposed to cut an angle into two pieces on last Tuesday. Today I'm going to go and review a little bit about that. I am recording this, so don't mind if I kind of get lost in my thoughts. Sometimes that does happen. So anyway, you're going to go to desmos.com/geometry. There's a couple of neat options here. First, you can always log in. Okay, if you click login, you can log in with Google and that'll just take your OHS account. So now I'm logged into my account and you can see my name appears on the top. To construct a segment, to construct an angle bisector, first you need an angle. If you go and you click on segment, you know an angle is made out of two legs, right? An angle has two legs and a vertex. So you could basically use a straight segment as your first leg and then another segment as the other leg, depending on how you want your angle. If you pick a 90-degree angle, it'll be right around there. If you want an acute angle, you would pick a segment leg that was around here, and if you wanted an obtuse angle, it would be around here. Of course, if you wanted a straight angle, that's not much fun because to bisect a straight angle, half 180 is just 90. So try to pick something that's either acute or obtuse. Personally, I'm just going to show you the acute angle. So let's say that angle. Now you can actually measure this angle by going to the side tab and then clicking on angle. Now first it'll say choose a point from the first leg. So let's pick this point. Then it'll say choose a point, the vertex. This is the vertex, it's the center of the angle. And then you choose the other leg. And you see that this angle is 42 degrees. Now remember that because 42 degrees when it's bisected is going to give us half 42. What's half of 42? Exactly, it's 21 degrees after it's bisected. Okay, and that's only to show you how much the angle is. We can now go back. You can either click on the back button or you can just use your keyboard and click Control Z and that'll carry us back a couple of steps. Okay, next thing I want to do is I want to use the select tool and then select these points and give them a name, just because it's easier to talk about them when they actually have names. So I would click on one point and you see it says one object selected and you can label that. But instead, if I wanted to do all 3 points, hold down the shift key on your keyboard and then click on the second point and the third point. And you'll see now it has 3 objects selected. So remember, whenever you want to select multiple things, hold down the shift key on your keyboard and you'll be able to do that. Now all 3 of these, let's label them. So A, B, and C. The vertex is A, AC is one of the sides, and AB is the other side. Okay. Now to make a bisector, first we have to use a compass or a circle to create some points along equidistant from A along both of the legs. We want to find a point that's equally far away from A on this leg as on this leg. So if we did make a circle, let's say right there, we see that this, and now we can actually use the point tool to create 2 points, one right there and one right there at the intersection of the circle and the leg. Select those 2 points, so that point, and shift before I select the other point. 2 objects have been selected, those are the 2 points, and I can label them D and E. So you can kind of see that A to D is the same distance as A to E. And it's the same distance because the circle shows us all these points that are equally distant from A. All the points on this green line on the circle are equally far away from point A. After you've selected these 2 points where the circle intersects with the legs, you know that you have 2 equally distant points from A. Okay, once you have that, you can now use the circle again, and it kind of automatically did it for me, but you could have used the circle tool to draw another circle from point D all the way to point E. And this circle now shows us all the points that are equally distant from point D. And again, we're going to go back and we're going to create another circle from point E back to point D. Now these 2 circles, and actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide this circle because it's no longer necessary. We don't really need to see it. We only drew this circle to find the 2 points, D and E, that were equally far away from point A. So we can click on, go to the side panel, click on, make sure you have the circle selected, and then click on hide. And now that disappears. Now these 2 circles, right, if I clicked on this, and we can actually change the colors. Let's make this orange, and that's a circle around D. So we can actually make point D orange as well. And let's leave point E as green. Now you see these 2 circles, the green circle and the orange circle, are equally far away from these 2 points, D and E, and they intersect at 2 different locations. Well, the location that we want to use is a location that's the farthest external to the angle. So this is the angle, and we want to pick the location that's the farthest away so we get a nice clean line. And this location where both these circles intersect, we can use a point to mark that location. If you go back to the selection tool, click on that point, and then label it. Now this gives us the exact point where we can draw our bisector. So if we had a segment, and remember, a bisector can be a line, a ray, or a segment. I'm just going to show you a segment, but you could have picked a line or a ray. So a segment from A to F, and now that should bisect or split into 2 the angles. Now remember, this is a segment, but you could have also have picked a line. So Control Z to undo that segment, and a line would have looked like this. You see how this is a nice long line, it does not end. We could also have done a ray from A extending to F. An array starts at one point and then continues onward in the other direction. So either of those would be fine. Let's just go back and make sure it's a segment. So A to F, and we can color this segment by selecting it and coloring it maybe gray. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Now to make kind of clearer, I'm actually going to hide the orange circle, and I'm going to hide the green circle. Now you see that we had the angle CAB, and we've split it into 2 halves. We can also go and check to make sure that that's a bisector. Remember our original angle C to A to B, right? CAB was 42 degrees. And we said a bisector would split it in half. Half of 42 is 21. So let's make sure that each of these angles is 21. So again, we start with C, A, that's our first leg, and then the bisector, the leg is A to F, right? So we see that this angle is indeed 21. If we want to make even more sure, we can check out the other half of the bisected angle. So we start with F, we go to A, then we go to B. Now you see both of these are 21 degrees. That means we took our 42 degree angle We've just split it into 21 degrees. Go back and rewatch this video to understand how we did that. I hope this helps.